Sally is relaxing at lunchtime, feeding pigeons in the park.
Are you walking with me? I don't see anybody else here.
No.
When we're poisoning pigeons in the park.
Absolutely not. Now stop that. She spies an older gentleman who's feeding them something that has them flocking to him. What's his secret?
Corned beef. Every day I go to the delicatessen and pick up their leftovers.
I'm glad somebody likes it. When I was in the Army, one evening they put these huge slabs of steak on our plates. I was so excited I almost didn't take anything else. I scurried to a table, sat down, took a bite, and thought I was going to throw up right there at the table. Yes, it was corned beef, and it was the most horrible thing I had tasted in my 18 years. My opinion hasn't changed. My wife loves to have corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day. I go somewhere else while she does because the smell of both makes me gag. But she thinks it's the greatest thing since ice cream, so I stay out of the way and she indulges. That's called compromise, and it's one of the most crucial keys to a good marriage. Because she also compromises and doesn't try to share it with me and is careful to air the house out before I get home.
Try it.
Thank you.
You know, it's nice talking to you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It's nice finding someone you have something in common with.
Pigeons.
And talking. My name is Sally Burton.
Victor Lucas.
He's a lonely old man who lost his wife to the passage of time, and Sally can't help but feel a twinge in her heart for him. She invites him to dinner that night. If I had the chance to invite Keenan Wynn to dinner, I might consider not letting him leave. He was an acting legend that I've talked about before. I'm constantly amazed at the registry of top-level A-list celebrities who got to work with Sally Field.
Hey, you think that little lady's got the least idea who she's talking to?
What's the matter with this sweet old guy just sitting in the sun feeding the pigeons, huh?
And he is. My question, who are they?
You meet an old guy in the park and right away you invite him home for dinner. I bet you don't even know his name.
I do so.
What's his name?
Victor Lucas.
Victor Lucas? You're kidding.
I am?
Yep, Sally is the only person in the room who doesn't recognize the name.
Didn't Victor Lucas run the mob in this town?
What? Ernie, he's just a nice old man who likes to feed the pigeons.
What does he feed him?
She invited the top mob boss to dinner. I'm guessing those other two guys are cops keeping an eye on him. She says, I'm sure it's not the same guy. When he gets here, we'll laugh at the whole idea.
Good evening.
Good evening. When do we start laughing?
I could be mistaken about those two. Now, I don't care who they are or who they work for. You don't just walk into my place like that. You'll find me blocking your way and demanding answers. John is over 6 feet tall and built like a tight end, so he can pull that off. I don't know why he doesn't. Frankly, if these guys do work for Victor, they can show some manners since he's the one with the invitation, not these clowns. Come to my house and try that, and you won't get far. I'm 6 feet tall, 240 pounds, and the only part that's fat is my middle-aged ice cream gut. I've never actually hit anybody with these in my life, but if you try to mess with my castle, I'll break that streak in a heartbeat. Since there's 2 of them, they might overpower me and get in, but believe me, they'd have to work for it. Especially if my wife is home. I get a little crazy when somebody even talks mean to her, much less this. I always laugh at TV fights because you'll see some guy pummel another guy until he's wobbly, then back off and wait for the other guy to try and hit back. Boogers to that. I say you got him on the ropes, don't stop swinging until he's down. It amazes me that nobody on television can figure that out. Our 2 goons finally leave, and Victor appears.
look beautiful tonight, Sally.
Thank you, Mr. Lucas. You look nice yourself.
Well, I didn't want to come to dinner empty-handed, so I brought you a Caesar salad with my own special dressing.
The old thing says beware of Greeks bearing gifts, especially gifts like a big wooden horse. But does that warning extend to mobsters bearing salads?
Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. I'd like you to meet my husband, John.
How do you do, sir?
And this is my good friend, Annie.
How do you do?
And my brother-in-law, Jerry.
Hi.
At last, we know Annie's status. And despite Jerry's incredible awkwardness, dinner goes just fine.
You know, this has been one of the nicest times of my life.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, I don't hang around much with people outside the business.
We're definitely outside the business.
Well, maybe that's why you can joke about it. I like that. I got feelings, too.
Yeah, deep down under that bulletproof vest beats a heart of gold.
That's what I mean. I like that. That's good. I like you.
Oddly enough, he's enjoying their one-liners about the gangster world. Basically, he's realizing that these people are real. They're not fawning bootlickers like the guys who work for him or your average I didn't say that. For the first time in ages, he's thoroughly enjoying himself. Well, that's the effect Sally has on people, even without reading their minds. Despite the fact that the show was called The Girl Was Something Extra, her ESP will come up exactly once this episode.
You're going to be my good friends. And you, Sally, especially you. You know, I'll never forget you inviting a lonely old man to dinner.
Oh, well, it was nothing. I was glad to.
Oh, you know who I was. That's what you call just trusting your instincts.
She trusted her instincts because she didn't know who he was. Her instincts are also telling her that despite his situation, sometimes he really is just a lonely old man who needs a friend. It's hard to make friends when the people around you are either bowing down to you or plotting to assassinate you and take your job.
Say, you know, a friend of mine is opening a new restaurant tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what I want. I want you to all be my guests for dinner.
Thank you very much. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's my late night at the store. I'm so sorry.
And Jerry has a gig to play.
The McClintock case?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's Ralph McClintock. John has to prove that the man is faking an injury. You know, one of those. It's a very important case.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry, but it's only one night. We'll do it some other time. Well, now I have to go.
Do they think he doesn't know what they're doing? They couldn't be more obvious if each of them had awkward written on their foreheads.
Mr. Lucas, don't let me forget to rinse out your salad bowl. You take it with you.
Sally, don't be silly. I'll pick it up next time.
Yeah, about that next time thing.
Sal,
Yeah,
when I think of all the times you've been able to read people's minds.
yeah.
Where was your ESP when we needed it the most?
Out to lunch.
He knows she can only read certain people. Victor isn't one of them. But there are times when it's not hard to figure out what he's thinking.
Look, Mr. Burton, I don't want any money. I just want this case settled.
Look, I don't understand. Only a week ago, you walk in here on crutches wearing a neck brace. Now, what happened?
Oh, it was a miracle. I woke up this morning and I felt fine. Don't know why I didn't think of taking aspirin before.
What about all those permanent injuries?
What's permanent these days? I mean, look, I can move every muscle in my body. And dance? Oh, I can dance.
I believe you, Mr. McClintock.
McClintock. Isn't that the name he dropped last night at dinner? What a coincidence. Ralph has a full release all filled out and ready to file. It only needs John's signature and the case is closed.
Picked this up from my lawyer at 6 o'clock this morning. Filled it out coming over. First time I ever rode in a limousine.
A blue limousine?
It's all settled, isn't it? I mean, I don't get a penny. I'm off the hook.
Victor is known for his blue limousine. If there was any doubt why McClintock is doing this, it just vanished. Suddenly, John's evening is free.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, too.
Who was that?
That was Mr. McClintock. It seems that the case is all settled. He doesn't want a cent.
Oh, what about all the injuries he claimed to have?
Miracle cure. Somebody applied a little heat.
I don't think it was a little. I enjoy watching Gordon jump in just about anything. He plays this sort of character so well. 4 years later, he would make his fame as Arthur Carlson, the quivering mama's boy who ran WKRP in Cincinnati. But when he did this show, he was a well-known and sought-after character actor, like he's doing right now. The funny part about his WKRP experience is he started out in radio. He reprised the role in 1991 with the new WKRP in Cincinnati, took over the job of the lonely Maytag repairman from Jesse White in 1989, and continued character acting right up to his death in 2003. Right now, he's just making sure his death didn't happen in 1974.
Hello?
John, Victor Lucas here. I just wanted to thank you again for a wonderful time. How's the big case going? Still working on it?
No. As a matter of fact, sir, it was just settled.
Oh, really? Well, then you and Sally can have dinner with me tonight, right?
At that new restaurant he mentioned, of course. Well, there goes their excuse.
Boy, what a night.
Well, the dinner was nice, even though it was a little long.
A little long. It's 2:30 in the morning, honey.
Drink a lot of toast in between courses. Sentimental group.
Yeah. 2 associates no longer with us. They have more casualties than most armies.
Well, let's hope that's that.
John has a unique opportunity here if he'll grab it. He's getting to see the inner workings of the city's crime syndicate. If he gathers enough information, imagine what he can do with it. He's more concerned about protecting his own inner workings.
Let's also hope that Mr. Kalish didn't see us in that restaurant.
Who's Mr. Kalish?
He's one of our biggest clients. I'd sure hate to have to explain Victor Lucas to my boss.
Well, why don't you just tell him the truth? Mr. Lucas is a friend of yours who solves all your cases in the backseat of his blue limousine.
That's pretty funny.
The worst part is, underneath the fear, they actually like Victor. He really is a nice old man who's fun to talk to. These guys aren't fun to talk to.
Jerry in the middle of... Who's that?
Mr. Burton?
Yes?
I'm Officer Lavin. This is Officer Connors.
We'd like to have a talk with you and Mrs. Burton downtown.
Once again, if these guys want to talk, we can do it right here. Maybe it's because I'm a little older than John and have seen a little more than he has, but unless they want to formally arrest me, I'm not going anywhere with them. You can do that. It's within your rights. I'm surprised John doesn't know that.
Now then, Lucas entered your home at 6:03 last evening carrying a large parcel. Would you care to comment on the contents of that parcel?
Delicious. It was a salad.
I see. Mr. Lucas makes salad to take out.
That's right.
She still has his salad bowl. Would you care to inspect it?
Well, at any rate, he stayed at your home until 10:57. Now, this evening, his limousine picks you up and takes you to a gathering of his most intimate associates where you remain until
2:38 when his limousine took us home, and your economy car took us here.
Care to make a comment on that?
The limousine rides smoother.
Gentlemen, sometimes things really are what they seem. They have an innocent friendship that started with pigeons and corned beef. Now I want to see their faces when Sally tells them that. I really wonder what these guys expect. If they are associates of Victor's, do they really think anyone will say so? They kick them loose but say you're going to be under constant surveillance. To which I would have to say, knock yourselves out and prepare to be bored out of your skulls.
Any messages, Angela?
Yeah, Mr. Klein wants to see you.
Fine. Anything else?
Nothing more important.
You look mad?
Well, you know Mr. Klein. The angrier he gets, the calmer he gets.
You mean...
I've never seen him so calm.
He said John stops hanging with Victor Lucas or he's fired. They're trying hard to avoid him, coming up with excuses why they can't get together. It seems to be working.
You ought to get mixed up with the mob.
Man, for goodness sakes, it's been over a week since we heard from Mr. Lucas. I'm sure we don't have to worry anymore.
Worry.
came to invite you and your husband to a birthday party tonight.
For Mr. Lucas. He's going to be 65 years old.
Or not. They say you don't want to disappoint him on such a special occasion, do you? He really would like you to be there.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
At the party, they decide they just have to tell Lucas they can't see him anymore. All they need is a chance to talk to him.
Hi, mind if I dance with your girl?
No, he doesn't mind at all.
Just be careful not to lose track of her way down there.
Hi, handsome. Having fun?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you want to dance?
Yeah, I haven't finished my drink yet.
Sure, let's dance. But she's disappointed by his conversation.
You got bedroom eyes.
I use them just for reading.
You're such a doll. You married?
Yes.
Fool around?
No.
Too bad.
Same answer she would have gotten out of me, except I would have disappointed her from the beginning when I pointed out that I don't know how to dance. They have to find a chance to tell Victor. They finally get him alone, but they're not sure what to say, so they're just sort of fumbling around. They mention things like the McClintock case, cops grilling them in the middle of the night, things that don't ordinarily happen to newlyweds.
What you're trying to say, John, is that my friendship is becoming a problem to you.
Well, now, it's not exactly that.
It's exactly that.
We'll talk about this later.
What's the ominous event that's calling him away? Let's go see. Actually, you can probably guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, if I may use the word, the gang's all here.
In the tradition of adult birthday parties, he makes a speech.
And now I am officially an old man. So if I run off at the mouth and speak my mind, it's okay. I've learned two things that really count: power and friends. And sometimes if you want to keep the one, you have to give up the other.
If you think he's getting ready to give up the power, don't.
Now, I'll be seeing most of you from day to day, but one or two of you I might see accidentally. Maybe in the park when I'm feeding the pigeons.
There's a factor that's very important in the gangster world: respect. They befriended him when they didn't have to because he needed a genuine friend, not because of who he was or because they wanted something. They truly are good people. Victor respects them more than they will ever know. Because he respects them, he's not going to foul up their lives anymore.
You guys still here?
Happy birthday, Mr. Lucas.
And many, many more.
Go on, get out. Riff-raff like you spoil a high-class party like this.
I suspect that's the first time he ever got kissed for calling someone riffraff. He's playing to the crowd, but I'd be willing to bet a nickel that they all know what's going on. There are those who would say Victor is an okay guy, he just lives in a world that has a different code than the rest of us. That code is illegal and it destroys lives. It's possible to be a nice guy and still be a murderer, or a gangster who has ordered more hits than he can count. He's a nice guy, but he still needs to be in prison.
So quiet.
No more unmarked economy cars.
No more men in three-button black suits.
No more offers of immunity from the police department.
Well, I guess that means we're officially out of the mob.
At least now we know when the doorbell rings, it's only Jerry. Good evening, Mr. Burton.
Mrs. Burton.
Or not. Now what? Gentlemen, is the word ask in your vocabulary?
Sorry to trouble you.
Mr. Lucas says a good salad bowl is as important as a piece.
A piece.
Yeah, a gun.
Oh, you know, you may find this hard to believe, but some of us think a good salad bowl is even more important than a piece.
Not where we hang out.
Oh, you'd be surprised. In certain situations, it could make a nice helmet. Try it on. Then show Mr. Lucas and see what he thinks. Maybe not. Feeding them. Well, she does. Come on, David. Didn't taste good. Since he's the one. They think anyone will. Ouch. They really think anyone will bite themselves. Possibly. Okay. Get yourself settled.